Floyd is praising him. We got a guy in Jaron Ennis right now who's killing everybody. Roy Jones, everybody, really.
Yeah, nah, he's nice as hell, but I'm at the point of my career, the money right, I'll fight anybody, so I ain't tripping.
Errol Spence has now turned his attention toward Jaron Ennis. His message is straightforward. If Boots is searching for a major fight, Spence is ready to face him.
I feel like the fans would rather see me fight Errol Spence or me fight Bud or me fight Keith.
Boots has been asking for the biggest names in boxing and showing that he is willing to fight anyone. But Errol Spence is far from an ordinary opponent. He is a former unified champion known for his pressure, body punching, experience, and determination to prove himself again. For Spence, defeating Boots would show that one difficult loss cannot erase everything he has achieved. For Boots, it would be another huge challenge against a respected fighter that fans still admire. Now both men have something to prove. Boots keeps calling for the top fighters, and Spence appears ready to answer. If this fight happens next, it will reveal exactly where both fighters stand today.
I'm going to be saying that we proclaimed Boots and we gave him all these accolades too soon. He hadn't had that fight yet. We gave it.
When Boots was asked about fighting Errol Spence or Terence Crawford, his answer showed complete confidence. He made it clear that he is not avoiding any of the biggest names. He believes he can defeat Spence, and he feels the same about Crawford. To Boots, the opponent does not change his goal. He wants the biggest fights, every world title, and the chance to prove he is the best fighter in the division. His main target is becoming the undisputed champion. He is not chasing attention from one big fight. Instead, he wants to collect every belt and remove all doubt about who rules the weight class. That is why victories over fighters like Spence and Crawford would move him closer to the legacy he wants to build.
You got XD champions, they holding up the, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence is holding up the weight division. We trying to figure out what they gonna do, but I mean, at the end of the day, they gotta fight me or they gotta move up or they gotta, do something because they holding up the division. That's it. No, I feel like this is definitely the year. I will be, a world champion this year, and like I said before, once I get my hands on one of those belts, it's up. All I need is to touch one, and then once I touch one, I'm gonna collect the rest, and I'm gonna go ahead and move up and do the same thing at 54. Be undisputed there too. So that's my goal. Every weight, 47, 50, 54, 60, and maybe 68. Depending on how.
Boots showed respect for Errol Spence, but he never doubted his own abilities. He believes he is the more skilled and complete fighter at this stage of his career. While he recognizes Spence's experience, pressure, and reputation, Boots feels his own speed, movement, punch selection, and angles would be the difference if they ever shared the ring. He also credits the hard work he puts in outside of fight night. Boots stays focused in training and continues to improve under the guidance of his father, Boxonix Ennis. He believes his success comes from preparation, discipline, and the team behind him, not just natural talent. That is why he remains confident that he has everything needed to defeat Errol if they fight.
I'm always in the gym. Like I said before, like after I went on Saturday, I'm right back in the gym on Monday. Get right back to the grind. Perfect myself, perfect my craft. Young, hungry. I'm great at everything. I got speed, power, defense. I can do it all. Like I always say, I'm a variety pack. I can do everything. And you just pick your favorite chip. And I give it to you. The older fighters and things like that, and studying myself, looking at things that I can get better at. It's a lot of things. I can keep going. Like that's how I know I'm always ahead of these guys, because I'm never letting them get one up on me, and I'm always be.
Greg Hackett also shared his opinion on a possible fight between Jaron Ennis and Errol Spence, and he believes Boots has what it takes to win. In Greg's view, Boots has too many advantages at this point in his career. His speed, size, angles, ability to switch stances, and creative offense would make life difficult for Spence. Even if Errol applies pressure and attacks the body, Greg feels Boots has the footwork and counterpunching to deal with it. Although Spence still deserves respect as a former champion, Boots is younger, fresher, and much more active today. Greg believes Boots can control the distance, keep Spence resetting, and make him pay whenever he tries to come inside. For that reason, he believes Boots has the perfect style to beat him.
Get hit. We ain't see this and we ain't see that. But the truth is, man, the kid's talented and he work hard, and the combination of the two, you can see clearly, you know what I mean, through his performance. And he's confident. You know what I mean? He can punch, speed, what you want. You know what I mean? I like it.
Do you feel like he's ready for the Terrence Crawfords, the Errol Spences?
I say Spence in one more fight. I say Crawford in 2 more fights. The reason being, Spence comes with less tricks than Crawford, but I believe is also equal as being dangerous. The thing is, Spence is going to give Boots a little bit more of what he's looking for, which is for a guy to be acting tough and standing there and trying to fight with him. Spence can box, but I don't think he can keep it up all night.
At the same time, Tim Tszyu has suggested that Errol Spence could be nearing the end of his career, while also leaving open the possibility of fighting Jaron Boots Ennis in the future. That makes the situation even more interesting. Tszyu does not see Spence as an unbeatable opponent. Instead, he views him as a respected former champion, returning with many unanswered questions after losing to Crawford, spending a long period away from the ring, and preparing for another dangerous fight. Tszyu believes this next bout could decide whether Spence still belongs among boxing's best or whether retirement talk will grow even louder.
But I feel like Errol's is a monotone type guy.
Yeah.
He's what he's good at is that constant pressure of constant punching, and it doesn't have to be flashy and quick and stuff like that. He knows when to throw the punch, and he keeps on going until you have to be until it's sink or swim type situation. So that's what he's good at.
Yeah, and I know, like, you always want to prepare for the best version of Errol, but there is that sense of do you think there's that sense of unknown, being like, we don't know how he's going to look at a new weight, hasn't boxed for ages? Like, is there that sense of that sense of unknown because you still don't know what sort of version of Errol you're going to get?
No, not really. I'm preparing for the best. The biggest thing for me is to test his heart. How bad does he want it? Mm-hmm. You know, when you've been there, done that in the sport, it's sort of like, do I need to do this? Do I need to keep on going? You know, that's what I want to test when he starts talking to himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think his heart, he can question, you will make him question himself in that?
Well, that's
Tszyu is also thinking beyond Spence by showing interest in a future fight with Boots. That makes it clear that he wants to stay involved in the biggest matchups in the division. Boots is younger, quicker, sharper, and fully focused on becoming the undisputed champion. That would create a completely different challenge for Tszyu. For him, these are exactly the kinds of fights that can prove where he truly belongs among the best fighters.
Obviously a massive 154-pound fight a weekend just gone of Boots and Xander Zayas. Yeah, I know you're focused and locked in on camp, but did you get a chance to see the fight?
I didn't watch the fight, I'll be honest. I should have, but I didn't. But I watched the highlights, and exactly what I thought, you know. But Xander did hit him, did wobble him to a certain extent, you know. But Boots was too classy.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you view Boots as a future opponent of you one day?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Roy Jones Jr. also believes Boots would have a strong chance against Errol Spence. In Roy's opinion, Boots has the skills needed to create serious problems for him at this stage. His speed, size, sharp counterpunching, movement, and ability to switch stances would stop Spence from settling into his usual rhythm. Against a pressure fighter like Errol, those qualities are extremely important because Boots would not have to stand in front of him and trade punches. Roy still respects everything Spence has accomplished, but he also understands that timing matters in boxing. Errol is returning with questions about his condition, sharpness, and whether he is still the same fighter after losing to Crawford. Meanwhile, Boots is active, confident, and getting stronger in the division. Roy believes this is the perfect opportunity for Boots to move past the older generation and establish himself as the new force at welterweight.
A little bit once he felt like he was in control, and I know just from watching him, I know that's what happened because I've seen that happen to myself. When you get in control, your senses go down a little bit. Now it's not, oh my goodness, I got to be on point anymore. No, it's like, oh, I got it. That's over with. and that's what he felt like. Then wham, he got caught. So I don't think his defense is that big of a problem. Matter of fact, the guy he fought from over there in Spain, I don't remember his last name, but that guy was a hell of a puncher too. Never could lay a glove on Boots. Couldn't put a glove on Boots, but he was known as a puncher. A knockout guy that most people had avoided. A lot of these guys in the welterweight division had turned that Steonis or whatever his name was. A lot of these guys over here turned that guy down. They didn't really want to fight him because he was too big of a risk, but not enough of a name. Boots took him to school. Took him to school. He could not lay a glove on Boots because he was at that. Boots had him senses heightened because that was another level for Boots. So I think when it comes time for Boots to do what he needs to do, he can pick the defense up. It's just a matter of...
Andre Ward has plenty of respect for Boots and recognizes his speed, size, confidence, and ability to switch stances. However, when he looks at Errol Spence, he sees a fighter with championship experience, relentless pressure, and the mindset that comes from competing at the highest level. Spence has faced tougher opponents, fought on the biggest stages, and knows how to slowly wear his rivals down. That is why Ward refuses to judge him based only on the Crawford defeat. He believes one disappointing performance does not erase an outstanding career. If Spence returns healthy, focused, and physically strong, Ward feels his pressure and body attack could cause Boots real problems. In his opinion, Boots may have youth and excitement on his side, but Spence has the experience and style to test him in ways he has not fully experienced before.
But I'm talking about the mental lapses. Boots said I went to sleep. All I'm saying is whether you in the gym, you're gonna get hit, stuff is gonna happen. You're gonna get hit in fights, stuff is gonna happen. But you're not going to hit me because I fell asleep. That's the point that I'm making. You catch me in an exchange, you set me up, I don't see something coming, I thought you was out of range, but you was in range.
Robert Garcia also gives Errol Spence the respect he deserves. He knows Spence is much more than a basic pressure fighter. At his best, Errol controls fights with powerful body shots, physical strength, smart discipline, and constant pressure. Because of that, Robert does not believe Boots would simply walk through him because of the Crawford loss. At the same time, he understands how good Boots looks right now. Boots is younger, fresher, sharper, and full of confidence. His speed, movement, switch hitting, and punch variety could force Spence to work hard throughout the fight. If Boots remains patient and avoids becoming careless, Robert believes he has the tools to take control. His point is not that Spence is finished, but that Boots may be facing him at the perfect time. If Errol is close to his best, it becomes a very difficult fight. If he has slowed down, Boots has the style to expose those weaknesses quickly.
I was there, and when we were watching that, I was surrounded by a lot of Boots fans, and I looked at them, and they said, "That's Virgil hits him like that, he ain't getting up." And I guarantee you guys, everybody, he ain't getting up. So yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind. We also, have to know that Boots hits hard too. He showed it. Sayas showed a lot of heart those rounds. He came to fight. I thought it was going to be a fight where Sayas tries to take into the later rounds because of his size. He was just a bigger man. I thought Sayas was going to take the fight into the later rounds, but Sayas came to fight. I also give respect to Sayas. I got to give him credit. I think he also showed a lot of heart and put up a great fight. But Boots is the one that I expected him to fight more, trying to get into a decision. But man, he showed his
Teddy Atlas offered a more careful opinion about Jaron Ennis instead of simply following the excitement around him. Teddy believes Boots has outstanding talent, but he has not yet faced the level of opponents that matches the praise he receives. Many fans already see him as a future superstar and one of boxing's most dangerous fighters. Teddy, however, looks at the quality of his resume. He wants to watch Boots prove himself against an opponent who can truly test his discipline, defensive ability, and adjustments when the fight becomes difficult.
It started off though with Boots in full control. Scored a big knockdown early in the fight, and maybe he lost a little concentration, and he gave a moment to Zayas in that third round, as you said, to have his moment and put Boots legs were wobbling. He